Hi, Sam here for ProRaster Scientific. I want to show you another bushfire or wildfire analysis today. I'm just going to go through it quickly. So this is a fire that burnt through the Tjoritja or West MacDonnell National Park in Australia. Here's Alice Springs, so we're in the red centre. Uluru, what we used to call Ayers Rock, is down here. And it burnt through quite a lot of this national park, which is now called Tjoritja National Park. So let's go straight to the scenes. So I'm looking at this scene here. So let me go straight to it. I've got some bottom of atmosphere surface reflectance, and I've got some top of atmosphere data. So I'm interested in the bottom of atmosphere. Double click on it and select it. So here are the scenes that I'm interested in. So we have some scenes prior to the fire, 2022. Then the fire is around March 2023. And then we have some scenes after the fire in winter of 2023, July. And you can see that some of these scenes are severely affected by cloud. And we won't get much data from those particular scenes. Okay, so let's create a scene sequence and take a look at it. So create scene sequence product. I'm going to add that to a new database called Tjoritja. It's a bit hard to spell. I think that's how you spell it. Tjoritja NP for National Park. Okay, so we've got our product here. We'll close this. And I'll just say render now, or perhaps I'll just make a render algorithm, create a render algorithm. Bottom of atmosphere reflectance, we're going to be looking at the fire scar. Hit OK. So I'll just open that in ProRaster. So let me go to, I'll go to March the 25th. This is a scene where the fire scar is quite evident, and you can see it here. I'll just zoom in a little bit. This is a fire, this is a fire, and this is the major fire that runs all along here. So let's just punch this up a little bit. So I'll go to the red component, and I have this ticked on so that changes I make go through to through all the other components. And I just played with these numbers before and came up with something that sort of looked okay, that really highlight this fire scar a little bit better. So you can see that that's copied through to all the other components. So let's come back out a little bit perhaps, or maybe we'll go full screen, and we'll just click through the time points quickly. Now I don't want to put that over the video. Okay, so March 30th 2022, before the fire. There are actually some old fire scars that you can see up here. They're not in the national park. The national park's down here. April the 15th 2022, you can see there's a fire scar here and here. Some other fires over this way. February the 13th 2023. So this is just in the week before the fire. February the 21st, we're cloud affected. March the 1st, we're cloud affected, and I believe the fire is already burning at this point in time. Now March the 9th, and you can see that the fire has begun in the park. You can even see here these red sections where the fire is actively burning. So I'll just move that up there. Let's keep going. March the 17th, again you can see this red section where it's the active fire front. March 25th, it's now burnt all the way out here to the west. We have fires up here and here, and there's a fire out here as well. Alice Springs is a bit over the other side here. So March 25th is sort of the main scene. Then on April 2nd, we're cloud affected. April the 10th, By April the 10th, the signal, remembering that this is in desert country, we're not in, so it's going to be mostly spinifex country that's been burnt out, the signal is already starting to disappear. You know, just a couple of weeks after the fire. April the 18th, again starting to disappear. Then by July the 7th, winter of that year after the fire, it's no longer really clear that there was a fire at all from this particular data. So let's go back up to 25th. So this is the data that we're really interested in on March the 25th. Okay, so let's go to our product editor here. So we're going to compute some index. We don't need to do any scaling. We're choosing bottom of atmosphere. I'm going to choose all of these fire indices and just see what they look like. So let's display now. And I'm going to go to that best date, which was March the 25th. Zoom in a little bit. Okay, so we're looking at AFRI 1600, and you can see these blue negative values are the fire. So let's just go through. So burnt area index showing up reasonably well. Mid-infrared burn index shows up pretty well, I would say. NBR, so now we're negative again. That shows up pretty well. NBR2, I think that's probably even better. NBR SWIR, normalized burn ratio with SWIR. And then finally, normalized burn ratio thermal 1. So I came to the conclusion that normalized burn ratio thermal 1 was best. Not really sure that it really beats NBR or NBR2, but we're going to go with NBR T1. Okay, so let's come back to our product editor. So we can I'll close off some of these algorithms which we don't want. So I guess what we'll do next is we'll render that spectral index so instead of deleting, I can just modify it, come up to fire, unclick those and hit the one that I actually want, NBR T1, and now I'll add a display algorithm and I'll open that in ProRaster. So again, let's go to March 25th. We'll go to a linear transform with a manual clip. And the question is, at what point do we transition from burnt to unburnt? So looking at our key data values, out here we're above sort of 0.5 where it hasn't been burnt. Let's bring this down a bit so we can see a bit more contrast. Above 0.5. Down here we're down below around 0.3. Previously I came to the conclusion that the transition was somewhere around 0.45. So if I put in 0.45 and then just say clip above the maximum, now we're clipping out everything that we think is unburnt. And you can see that we have noise out here coming from bare earth and whatnot. But here's the fire scar that we're interested in here and here. So to go further with our analysis, we'll need to clip that to a polygon. So let's get rid of that. I'll save it because that's in our product. Close that down. Oops, I have that on top. So let's now clip to our polygon. Well, actually, what we'll do is we'll let's start again. We'll go mask by raster, So we'll take out all the pixels that are affected by cloud. Then I'll add in my index, clip to MBRT1. Now I'll clip by a polygon, and I have one here, MacDonnell ranges, which I just made very roughly. Now I'll create a display algorithm and open that. Okay, so now we're clipped to this polygon. Let's come into March 25th as before. You can see that looks good. So I prepared a color table for this particular data. So I go to my user defined color tables, and in there I find MBRT1, which I created, and then select that from here. So here's my color table with a kind of a ash colored through to well burnt, and then this orange indicates that it's sort of still burning. So over here, for example, we get a little bit of orange, remembering that the thermal channel is in this index calculation, so we're still seeing some areas that are actively burning. Over here and over here there are some orange areas. So that's our visualization. I'll just show you the color table. MBRT1, just edit the selected color table. So I've just put in 4 colors and match them with some data values. So so that we have both a data stretch, so we've got a data transform as well as the colors in one thing, and that and so we don't need an additional data transform. All right, so let's click through and just have a bit of a look. So we'll start at March the 30th. We're not showing anything burnt. April 15th, February 13th, 21st. Now we're going through the cloudy days. There's the fire beginning to emerge on March the 9th. March 17th, it's getting bigger, and you can see that we have quite a significant fire front there. March 25th, it's burning over quite a broad area. April 2nd, April 10th. By April 18th, we're really starting to lose a lot of that signal, as I was saying before. And then by July, largely, we're no longer identifying that fire ground. So let's come back to our statistics and work out some statistics on this thing. So from our clip, I'll just go statistics. Well, actually, before I do that, we probably want to clip out the data that is unburnt. So let's go back to our spectral index. Now I'm going to use a calculator operation. So A00 is our input. So we'll go if A00 is less than 0.45, which was our cutoff, then we'll use A00, otherwise put in null. So we'll just clip out everything that it is above, so less than equal to, above 0.45, hit OK. Now we'll clip by our polygon again. Now I'm going to compute statistics. Hit OK. So, in summary, we've got multiple scenes. We've computed this. We've masked out the cloud. We've computed the MBRT1 index. We've then clipped out data that's above 0.45 using a calculator operation. Then we've clipped it to a polygon, and now we're computing the statistics of everything that's left inside that polygon. So if we have a look here at the histogram, so this is pre-fire, 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 here we've got cloud, and then on March the 9th you can see Remember that the vegetation signal will be above this value here, above 0.45, but here we're getting a peak. This is the fire peak, and there it is through to March 25th. That was the scene that we were looking at closely. Then we get cloud, and then towards July it's completely disappeared again. So let's go back to our spatial statistics for March the 25th, and you can see our cell size is 30 meters, and the number of valid cells inside that polygon that have been burnt according to our criteria is this many. Now that comes out to 1397 square kilometers, so almost 1400 square kilometers, or 140,000 hectares. I think they reported that the fire was about 100,000 hectares. That was within the national park, and the fire actually burnt outside of the national park. So let's go back and just perhaps in summary just have a bit of a look. So let's go to the 25th. So I'll add in, let's go perhaps full screen so we can all see it. Why is my mouse zoom not working anymore? Oh, because that's the total extent. So let's add in, just put in Google Maps. I'll move that layer down a little, down to the bottom. I just want to increase the resolution a bit, and then we'll turn on blending, say with light table mode. Let's just zoom to that data set. So here you can see the boundary of the national park. Over here is Alice Springs, and here's the fire within the national park, but out here the fire is we haven't got the clipping, so that's why we're seeing this grey here. This is the area that was unburnt inside the polygon, so I stuffed up there, but it doesn't matter. So you can see that I've included these areas that are outside of the park that were also burnt. So that's the Tjoritja National Park fire of March 2023, using the MBRT1 index to do some analysis and work out the area of burnt ground. Thanks for watching.